The new Shantae game came out finally.
Oh yeah.
I forgot.
Nice, dude, let's go.
I forgot that we haven't had a cast since that came out. So yeah, that came out. I bought that immediately and streamed like what, it was like 2 or 3 days in a row. And I did all the achievements. So like I did a casual file where I just like 100% of the game. Then I did a speedrun file because there's like speedrun trophies where I tried to quote unquote speedrun 100% the game. That's what I just said. It wasn't like it was just like me playing the game as fast as I could, which was still pretty slow, but I somehow got the 100% speedrun trophy and the 80% speedrun trophy on the same file. I thought that there's no way I'd get the 80% one, but I guess it's pretty lenient. And then I did a New Game Plus file, which is like you play as Shantae in like a coconut bra and grass dress Islander girl outfit.
Right.
And you have more magic, but you take like double damage. So you only start with 3 hearts, and it's like 4 hits per heart in Shantae. And so it's pretty easy to just die in like 2 hits in New Game Plus. I don't know why it's called New Game Plus and not like, I don't know, like just like a harder difficulty.
Yeah.
Because it's not like anything carries over. It's like you just have a new costume and then you have more magic, and you don't start off with any magic. You still have to buy the abilities.
It's a New Game Plus enough?
Yeah, I guess. But like, I don't know. So I played that. The game's good though. Game was fun.
They're good.
It's back to the Metroidvania style of a giant connected overworld, and then you have dungeons that you go into where you like somewhere in the overworld. So it's like you have to it's not like Half Genie Hero where it's like a bunch of linear levels that you select from a screen and then you just proceed from left to right, and there's no backtracking in the levels. Once you go into a loading zone, you are now gone from that last part. There's no going back to it in Half Genie Hero. This one's just like the giant connected map, and then there's dungeons that you go into on the map that you delve into and like go in and solve the puzzles, beat the boss, and then leave, and then go back to the overworld, do a little thing, and then go to the next dungeon. Do that like 4 or 5 times. So I had a lot of fun with the game. They kept the same like artwork. Well, not artwork. They kept some sprites and shit from Half Genie Hero, which I think looks really good. So I didn't mind that. The artwork has changed for the CG cutscenes. Trigger did like a little anime kind of intro for the game. That's like a 30-second opener. It's like plays a little song, and it's like a Trigger animated cutscene that plays. And then there's actual animated cutscenes for the rest of the game that aren't done by Trigger, and they don't look anywhere near as good, but they're not terrible. They're just like,
you can tell they're not Trigger.
They're not Trigger. Yeah, like I don't know. I wouldn't say they look great. I don't even know if I'd say they look. I guess you could say they look good. Like they look kind of rough sometimes, but it's still good. And there's like there's a little bit of voice acting. It's not like the whole game's voice acted, but they got Christina V talking to herself as usual because she plays Shantae and Risky. They got Ross O'Donovan from Game Grumps to voice Bolo this time, actually, which I didn't know because he never announced it. He never said anything about it on Twitter. And then, like the day the game came out was kind of like right when everything was picking up with the Black Lives Matter movement and pulling protests and stuff. So he was like tweeting about that. He never like tweeted anything about the game. And then like I think yesterday he's like, "Hey guys, I never mentioned this, but I voiced Bolo in the new Shantae game. You know, it didn't feel right to tweet about it when the day it came out, but I'll just tweet it now." Because I was looking at the credits and I saw his name in voices, and I was like, he had to have been Bolo. Like, there was no other like male voices in the game, really. So that was weird for me because, especially since they just gave Bolo a voice for the first time in Half Genie Hero DLC, one where you get to play as like him and Roddy Tops and Sky. And like the guy that they got to voice him, I don't remember who it was, but he was like super excited on Twitter. It's like, "Oh, I love Shantae games," and like, "I'm so stoked to be playing Bolo. This is awesome." And then they just fucking replaced him the next game. I was like, that sucks to be that guy, I guess. But
wonder why.
Yeah, the game was. Yeah, I don't know. The game was fun. Game's good. I do have some problems. Loading screens are actually terrible, even on PC. I play on PC. And loading is disgustingly long. For Half Genie Hero, there's no loading screens. Like when you go between load zones in Half Genie Hero, there's like that's like a mandatory do you want to save screen, and you press yes or no, and then she walks off screen. She like runs to the center of the screen. It's like, you want to save, yes or no, and then she walks off screen, and then the game starts again. But this one, there's no mandatory save, so it's like the old games where you have to actually like find a save room. But the load screens, every time you enter a dungeon or you like go to a different part of the map, because like towns are instanced, and then like there's sections of the map that are instanced. It's not all loaded at once. So if you enter a new part of the map or a town or a dungeon, like loading screens are fucking bad. Like, I guess it's probably because the game had to be made to run on iPhones. I can only think that has something to do with it. But yeah, they're pretty fucking disgusting for what this game is, and it running on a fucking PC, like a high-end PC like this.
It's really odd considering that a lot of those games have kind of been running off the same engine with the same assets for a while now. So I'd be kind of hard pressed to figure out where. Like,
yeah, especially since the last game, using the same sprites and the same engine and everything, had no loading screens at all. Yeah. You literally just instantaneous, like game, like save, no, game. Okay, maybe they disguised the loading screens as like the save screen. That's possible, I guess. But even then, it's like the amount of time it takes Shantae to walk to the middle and you press yes or no to save and then walk off screen is like half of what these loading screens are. Like, these things are bad. Like, I don't know.
It's one of those like, it's one of those moments where it's like I've never made a fucking game before, but I look at Shantae and I go, that's a game that would load.
Yeah, that's what I just expected. It's just. And it's like, I thought it was just me, but like I went on speedrun.com because like I'm interested in learning the game, and it's like, yeah, everyone on there is like the guys like, dude, I was watching the. I was surprised that I thought the game was gonna be more popular on speedrun.com, but like it took like 4 days before anyone submitted a run, and then I was watching the run to see what kind of route he was doing. I was like, yeah, like 1/3 of the run is literally me watching Shantae dance in the corner, and that's like the loading screen. I was like, Jesus Christ, is it really that much? Because like you switch zones a lot in the game, so especially you're gonna do it a lot in a short amount of time in the speed run. So it's like fucking like PS3 fucking 1.5, where you're just watching loading screens for like half the run.
I wonder if there's some sort of like data streaming issue, like stuff is being reloaded when it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like gonna write him an email or a tweet or something like, I don't know if this is fixable, but like you guys should definitely look into it and try to fix it if you can, because this is really bad for speedrunning. Like, it's pretty bad to just sit there and watch loading screens during a speedrun. Like, trust me, I ran 1.5, 2.5 on PS3. I know how miserable that shit is, and I don't want that to happen again.
If you email them, I wouldn't even mention speedrunning. Just be like, look, I play these games all the time. I play these games all the time, and this is really.
Well, I mean, they have speedrunning trophies though, so like they know about speedrunning. Like, yeah, they have an 80% trophy achievement and a 100% speedrun achievement. So it's like they know about speedrunning, and they know that they even want people to speedrun the game. But it's like, I don't know, the loading's bad, and then the frame rate is like gets kind of choppy. Which
I saw you were having when I first glanced at your stream when you first started up. I saw you were having an issue with that.
And that happened on the phone, and I thought it was just because I was playing on iPhone, but it didn't get any better on console or on PC, unfortunately. And I don't know. Again, I have a feeling that all these problems are because the game has to run on iPhone. So they probably like made the game, and then the Apple's like, "Hey, we'll give you money for put it on Apple Arcade." So they dumbed it down and fucked up some shit, and then they just like to make it run on iPhone, and they probably just brought that as the final version over as well. I don't know, but it was kind of disappointing. But at the same time, it was like they had to do something with the frame rate, because in Half Genie Hero, there's no frame cap. So the game is meant to run at 60 frames.
Yeah.
But if you're like me and you're playing on a high-end PC and you have a 144 hertz monitor, it just goes to infinity, which is not like a normal game where you're like, oh, look at my frames, dude. This game literally runs as fast. The speed of the game is tied to the frame rate. So the more frames you're getting, the faster the game goes. So like I had to download a third-party software just to limit the frames to 60, so that I could speedrun the game. Because if I just let it rock normally, it would run in 144 frames plus, and the game was running at over double speed. Everything like the music says double speed, all the enemies moving double speed, Shantae runs double, like the game was just running 2 times the speed. And it's like, how do you not have like a built-in like way to say, hey, stop at 60 frames? Like, or 30 frames, even like anything. Like, it literally just goes, and no one in the speedrun community ever said a fucking thing about it.
Yeah.
There's no rule anywhere that said like you need to have like a frame counter shown to make sure you're running at 60 FPS. I was like, bro, what are they gonna do? I thought about just doing a run on 144 frames, running at double speed, just to show them the problem. Yeah. I was like, hey, look at this. You guys need to like put a rule up saying you need to, if you're on PC, obviously if you're on console, then it's fine because they cap it there. But like if you're on PC, you need to have like a frame counter at the top. And it sucks because there's no built-in one, so you have to download third-party software. But it's like that's the only way to make it consistent. Because like even then, it's like I was experimenting, and I was like, I could up my frame count from 60 cap to like 63 cap, and I'll save like 8 seconds in the first like 2 minutes of the run. That's like that little of a difference makes that much of a difference. It's like people could like abuse this so easily. So I guess that I don't know if that was their answer in this game, was to actually like cap the frame rate, but it's like it doesn't even cap smoothly. It's like I still had a lot of stuttering throughout the entire game. Not a solid 60 FPS like I was hoping for.
It's really weird.
Yeah, but the game's still fun. It's still the loading and the frame rate were the only complaints I had. Really, everything else was fine, and it was a fun game to play. I played through it like 5 times already, and I'm probably gonna learn the speed run eventually. There's already out of bounds and no out of bounds categories because I guess the out of bounds ones are like 30 minutes faster already. So I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I definitely recommend people playing the game if they like Metroidvanias.